Three's Company. We're going to continue on with the game of dating. So we're going to hop right back into these questions.
If you didn't see it last time, first.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
This is round 2 because we've got too much dating. So go back if you haven't watched the last episode on called The Game, Part 1. Because
it's time for Part 2.
Since that episode, you're still not dating anyone?
Well, no, I was dating 10 guys in the last one, but I broke up in the break with 2. So I'm now with 8.
She's in the same outfit.
Yeah. This outfit works, so I mean, I gotta fix what's wrong.
So wait, how old were you? Were your parents? Not your parents. How old were you when you were allowed to date?
Oh, birth. I think my parents. I didn't have a lot of.
School the first time I went to movies with a boy.
Junior high.
How old?
Like 8 or 8.
What?
Wow.
Junior high. Go to the movies?
Yep.
Yeah, we went to the movies.
Like a G-rated movie, or?
I don't remember what movie we saw, and then he brought me like a rock. He gave me a.
Yes.
He gave me a rock at school.
Was he 8 or was he 14?
No, he was like 8 or 9.
Wow.
His name was Jeremiah.
Look at
Jeremiah was a frog.
Just going out.
Yeah.
What about you, Bray?
My first date.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't given any rocks, but I was. I think it was when I was 18.
Oh wow.
I like that, Bray. Yeah, I was junior
rock.
high.
It
Junior
was a
high.
shiny rock, I would like to say.
Oh, okay. See, he knew what you liked. He knew. The Bodyguard. I went to go see The Bodyguard, Whitney Houston. And it's like that one. Mm-hmm. Too young.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dating, how can you tell if you're ready to date? Were you at age 8?
No, I was not. And I actually think there may have been a parent like at the back of the theater to make sure we didn't kiss. I think so. Or they dropped us off. Anyways, no, I don't think 8. At least 16. See, part of me thinks that they should be given an opportunity to begin to explore relationships with the opposite sex while they're under your roof. I'm not talking, obviously, sexual relationships.
But group dates. Like hanging out with other people. Yeah.
Like, you know.
Not the pressure of a one-on-one date,
No.
though. Because that's like, we've said that in previous episodes, you know, out of high school, you know, give them that chance to do that.
I think group dating is wise for adults, too. That's my opinion. Call me conservative. I'm going to
call it.
Conservative.
Wait, extrovert that I am.
The extrovert wants to go out on group dates.
Did we hear how old you were on your first date? I don't think we heard how old you were.
I was 15, and my parents, we went to the movie, and parents dropped us off, you know, tried to, picked us up, tried to hold, plan that so we could, like, hold hands outside of the car in the movie. So, yeah, that was like an actual date. But it's hard to date when you don't, I think when you're relying on your parents unless you have older friends to drive you anyways.
Dangerous, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because you're still, it's still up to your parents.
Yeah.
So.
When I was 15, my boyfriend's mom took him to Victoria's Secret to shop for me. Can you believe that?
What?
I'm thinking, this is preposterous. Moms, don't do that. Please don't do that.
To shop for you.
For me, for a gift for my birthday.
And were you having sex at 15?
Wow.
Yeah.
With this guy?
Actually, I hadn't had sex with him.
And you just thought.
But the Victoria's
I think
Secret
he was
was
trying
the
to get
deal
there.
breaker.
Yeah,
Victoria's
there.
Secret.
Well, Mom's telling her son, we'll get her this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That'll get.
He was
I'll get you a
15 too.
giant terry cloth robe with a chastity belt around it.
Okay, well, how old is too old of an age jump to date? That's the way the question was phrased. Like the age gap.
The age gap.
Maybe that's better.
Well, I think the age gap, it gets like, as you get older, the age gap can widen because developmentally, a 17-year-old is in a much different place than a 30-year-old. But a 27-year-old and a 40-year-old.
Ashton and Demi, it works.
Oh my gosh.
Look at all the good things they're doing.
TMZ.
Look at all the good things they're doing with sex trafficking. And
oh my gosh.
With Felicity and Harrison Ford, aren't they like 60 years apart?
Oh my gosh, for real. Well, no matter what, like, there's some people that it doesn't seem to affect as much. I mean, no matter what, if you're in different life stages, I mean, there is a truth of like a teenager from anything past into adulthood, you're going to, if there's someone still in high school or college, I think that's like a bubble age. Like they haven't truly experienced a lot of the world or themselves, and so much older men or women than that are going to be just a completely different life stage. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it,
I used to date older guys all the time. When I was like 15, I was dating like 22, 23. Actually, I remember at one point my mom and I had the same age boyfriend. That is sad.
Oh, no.
But, yes, oh no is right. But I remember there was this one guy, I think at the time I was 15, he was 22, 23. And he was the first one that ever did this. He said, I'm sorry, I really like you, but I just can't date you. You're too young. And I totally respected him for that. And I stopped dating older guys because I realized, I started thinking, he was like, I'm sorry, but what is wrong with me that I would date a 15-year-old? And I was like, you're right. That's kind of true.
Yeah, I think if you're in high school, like senior, and she's a freshman, I mean, someone's going to get made fun of there. Or in college, dating a high schooler, it's just like, it's kind of...
Maybe illegal.
I did that once, so
but
I was young in college.
Oh, my.
She was a senior, I was like 18.
Okay.
She was Mormon, so that didn't help with the whole pastoral degree.
None of that makes sense right there.
Did you drive a giant van, too?
No. I'm saying, it wasn't like 15, I was dating a 15-year-old to whatever, but I think as you get older, it doesn't matter as much. My wife and I, though this might sound strange, it's just in all jokingness, because I don't think either of us are going to die right now, but she has a rule for me that if she was to die and I was to date or to get remarried, that it can't be more than 5 years. Because she's just like, I'll turn over in my grave if you were like, you're 35 and like you have this new 21-year-old girlfriend. So 5 years is what my wife, if she was on this, she would say.
I love that Jeanette set from the grave rules. That's Jeanette. And I will haunt you the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go back into college ministry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
So 5 years is what Jeanette would say.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Jeanette.
Dead or alive.
So, how would you tell a person you recently had a relationship with that you just want to be friends and that you don't want to ever be a couple ever again?
You could just say,
you
know what, I actually just want to be friends. I don't think you have to say, I don't ever want to be a couple ever again. I think you could just probably leave it.
As they're crying in the corner.
Friends.
Yeah.
But
and don't do that after sex.
That would be horrible.
No, but I'm saying that...
what if it's true?
No, but I'm saying that
after sex
happens a lot of times. You feel bad, you're doing things that not friends would do, but more than friends. Oh, I just want to be friends now. Well, then stop having sex or stop acting like you're a couple. And so having that conversation before probably it goes that route. Or if it has gone that route, I wouldn't end your experience together or whatever you're doing that one isn't right. And then, I just want to be friends. Don't lead them. Not to say all girls do this, but sometimes you don't want to actually just have this conversation. And so once I had this gal that she came all the way with me to college, and it was just one of those. She came to drop me off, and then she came to visit me and all this. But while she's visiting, decided that we should have this whole let's define the relationship, and I just want to be friends talk. Well, why did you get on a plane and come down to visit me? Like, friends don't do that right now. So it's just like, I could have, canceled your ticket and done something else. Don't just waste the weekend. And so that idea of having that before you hop on a plane or hop in bed with them.
Communication. Communication.
That's good. How would you say is the best way to handle a distance relationship?
I have two of my best friends that did long distance while one of my other friends, she was in college in like Chicago, and we lived here, and they were amazing because they made time for each other. I think long distance works if you put the time and effort into it. Like, they would have phone dates where they would even watch the same TV shows, and they'd be on the phone, and they just made sure to nurture that relationship, to make sure that they scheduled times where they met, and that they were just really active and just really pursuing each other and showing that in creative ways. I think there was a lot of difficulties, but I mean, what relationship doesn't? And they're married to this, like they're married today, and
but not long distance anymore.
They weren't long distance, and they came home and had like a year. They had a year together before they got engaged. So I think they were on the same, in the same place. But because they were long distance, but they had to work at that, and they both love the Lord. That again, that was the center of the relationship. They that they would watch the same sermons that were online from a church. They just on every level they clicked and they worked, and they were close for it. And so I think it can work. But if you're just talking, you're texting people, I mean, any relationship's not going to work if you do that kind of stuff,
And it could harm, I would say there is some danger in harming your relationship as well. Like I had a friend that they dated, kind of long distance, and then they got married, but they hadn't spent much time together. And so then there was this idea of he actually wanted to move her midweek to another location. And it was actually where we were living at the time. And hey, no, she could work with you guys, or she could do this. And you know what? He actually said we're better when we're apart. But it was like 2 years into your marriage, and it's like, I don't want your wife, during the week. Like when I'll come out there on the weekends. It was just like, well, that's like you signed up to be married, and now it was just they had trouble actually being together, and that's where I was like, well, maybe you guys should have figured this part out before you married her, because if you're sending her my way because you can't handle her all week and she can't handle you, like, man, that's marriage isn't gonna last, and you guys are gonna continue to have issues if you can't, if you don't want to enjoy, like if you want to send your spouse somewhere all week and then just see her on a weekend, like,
something's going on there, disconnect.
You've got to spend time in the same zip code for a while before you get married, for sure.
Why do people think kids can't fall in love? Do you think kids can fall in love?
What age is kids then?
High school. I mean, how many high school relationships really work?
Yeah, it depends on what you define as love. Like, I know people that have been together actually since they were in high school, but I'm sure their definition of love has evolved since then, now that they're in their 40s and have 2 kids. So I know for me, like, I thought I was in love when I was 14, but that wasn't love. It was infatuation. It was, let's face it, obsession.
What about the person who is trying to convince their mom that they are old enough to date?
Of course you're going to try to convince your mom
to
date, because who doesn't want to date when you're 15?
Unless you're, at Harmony's house.
Yeah. But you've got to respect your parents, and no one wants to hear that. I mean, there's a chance that you could have really crazy, abusive, strict parents that don't let you leave your house, and that's a separate issue. But if you have good parents that love you and are just trying to create boundaries, you've got to try to see where they're coming from, to know that in essence they love you and they're not trying to not have you have a social life. You know what I mean? Like, maybe talk to them about this idea of group dating, or maybe have them, talk through what it is that they're fearful of and why they've created these rules, because it goes back to communication. Saying, I just want to because Jimmy's so cute is not going to work, you know? That's not going to cut it.
What about the other spectrum? What if the parent is afraid to let their kids date?
If the parent is afraid to let their kids date, so what's the question?
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah.
As a parent?
If you're as a parent,
if you don't want your kids to date, but they want to date.
But they want to date? Yeah. I think dialogue as well, and asking them why do they want to date, and what do they like about that person, and suggesting group dates. I think it's the same conversation. Right, because the kid wants to date.
Yeah, and depending on your age, if you're 20 and you're still living at your house and your parents don't let you date, go get a job, move out, and it doesn't matter.
Date all
if
you
you're
want,
of age, if you're over 18 and you're still at your house, you got to play by your parents' rules. But if you're over 18, you're an adult. So I would say, if you're 14 and your parents don't let you date, good for your parents, and hopefully you won't be able to talk them out of that. So
true.
Yeah. True. So there's once you grow up and you become an adult, you can do what you want.
You'll thank them later.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. This is an interesting situation. How do I explain to my boyfriend that I am pregnant with his brother's baby?
Oh, boy.
Oh, well, that is
that's
an
not fun.
intriguing twist.
That conversation's not going to go on no matter how you have it.
I've seen this one on Maury.
Yeah, that's
And eventually they do the paternity test, and they'll say, you are not the father.
Yeah.
And then that's probably the best way, I would think.
No,
to go on
Maury or no. Oh, that's not going to be a good conversation, but it's going to have to be had. Oh, that's painful.
Yeah.
Maybe the brother needs to have it.
Yeah,
well,
you're cheating with family, you're pregnant. I mean, that's so complicated, and that relationship's probably done.
Yeah, don't have him raise his brother's child as his own.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a life lesson.
Oh, it's the uncle and the dad.
Oh,
yeah, that's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Well, sorry about that situation. Okay, this is, why does it seem like guys get attached to their girlfriends so much faster than girls get attached to their boyfriends?
Who asked this question?
Some
Who
guy.
asked this?
Is this on Mars?
No.
Is this a different planet?
But
Well,
I
you
hear
guys
it
think
flipped often.
Wait, guys get attached to their girlfriend faster than girls get attached to their boyfriends?
I think emotionally girls
Why?
get attached. I think guys are saying attached, meaning like talking with their penis kind of attached.
Oh,
And
like
girls are
Girls are like-
talking
yeah.
heart emotion.
Heart emotion.
I just
Yeah,
read
so
Twilight,
yeah.
and I want to be around.
So let's hit both those. Girls with the heart, guys with the physical. Why do
At
they get
15, like
attached?
you said, you're infatuated, but you think you love him. You think you're just, and so you've bought in. This is love, and this is a boyfriend, and he's not. It's a breakaway from your parents. It's rebellion. It could be rebellion. It could just be fun. For guys, it's like, I like touching her. I like kissing her. I mean, for a lot of that, I like. Yeah, she's nice, and I'll talk on the phone. But for a lot of guys at that age, it's all about just probably the physical nature.
And for girls, so much of it is like the girls that I know, and they're not as many as I'd like to say, but who have strong relationships with their fathers are much less likely to get insane as teenager. And so I know for me, so much of my like insane behavior was about wanting that male attention that in a normal person who has a healthy relationship with their father, they're going to not have the opportunity to crave it as much.
True.
So men, you have a very important role
Yeah, that's good.
in daughters' lives.
But you mentioned something, guys just think and talk about sex a lot. But why is that? Why do guys always think and talk about sex? And with their girlfriends, too?
Because they have a penis. And,
End of question.
no, I mean, I think at that age, for some reason, not to say it ever completely goes away, but yeah, for high school, college, I mean, it's just on your mind. And, I mean, yeah, you're out of it. I don't know. I mean, not saying that it's what all guys all the time think about, but yeah, you see a girl and you get involved in a relationship. Oftentimes, that's where it all ends up. At 17, you're not looking for a wife. You're looking for someone to have fun with, and then the physical part is a huge part for a lot of guys, and it is for women as well. But I think as you get older, your focus kind of changes. You're looking for a wife and this and that, and you're done playing the game, which is the title of this episode.
True. You mentioned at that age, though. I mean, I know that people have been annoyed with guys always talking about sex that are older, too. Why do you think that is?
Well, yeah, because I
All
don't
the
think
time.
you necessarily grow out of that. And I mean, there's guys that, I'm 35, so there's guys that I are my age that are still wanting to play the game and pretend that they're in college still or pretend to, when we lived in Vegas for so long, that nightclub scene there, it's just like, dude, you're 40 and, you got like 1 ounce of hair left on your head and you've got your Vegas shirt on and and it's just going clubbing and doing that scene, like acting like you're, that's that life that you're still in. So some people might not ever grow out of that, but I think for a lot of people at high school and college, that's what it's about. You've got one-track mind, so to speak.
All right, here's the last question. Why are girls so complicated? That is a question on here.
Why are girls so complicated? Because that's just how God made us. And that's the one thing is that I'll never truly understand a mind of a man.
Right.
And they'll never truly understand ourselves because we can't, be in each other's bodies or those same feelings and emotions. But I think that sounds like someone who's definitely been hurt, whoever that is, whoever this complicated woman is. She's amazing. You just got to let her go, though. You got to let her be free, I don't know. I think that's kind of a funny question.
The menstrual cycles.
Oh, my
Complicated.
gosh.
I'm saying.
No,
Really?
you didn't.
I know.
What?
I'm saying.
Oh,
let me
my
finish.
God.
I know. Stop.
Menstrual,
Stop.
how about you
No.
guys think with your...
I said the menstrual cycle is complicated, let alone. You didn't even let me finish. Were you saying she's complicated because she's on her menstrual? No, I was saying. No, I'm saying
just almost got
the whole
eaten
thing's
alive.
complicated. No, women are complicated. Like just understanding the woman's menstrual. That's complicated. You guys are complicated. Just
We're like,
the whole thing's complicated. why are you freaking out? Like,
I thought you were going to say they're complicated because they're PMSing. Like, how some guys would say that, 'cause
no, I'm
they're-
saying that's another. You look at all these things that it's very complicated, and
Very
not to say
It's
guys aren't
complicated,
complex, but
guys are complicated.
This whole thing,
I don't know. I'm kind of a bottom liner. I think I'm pretty simple.
But here's something that I've heard. Women are like spaghetti. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, where everything in their lives, they all combined together. that, you know, if something goes crazy at work, then the rest of your day is crazy and all this kind of stuff. And dudes are much like a waffle, where there's different compartments and that they just kind of handle things at different levels. Women, where there's many, many layers, not saying men are not simple, they have layers too, but I think the very nature of men and women are different creatures that have different, you know, ways of communicating, and so men are complicated to women, and women are complicated to men. Never gonna
Spaghetti
get
and
it.
waffles.
Spaghetti and waffles.
Just
Spaghetti
as
and
easy as
waffles.
that.
What do we do for lunch?
Just
Spaghetti
as
and
easy as
waffles.
spaghetti and
All
waffles.
right, that's it.
Okay, well, wait, quick to just sum it up. So then, for those Christians,
Those
approaching
Christians out
dating,
there.
no,
Yeah,
approaching dating in a godly way. How, just a quick few sentences. How do you do that?
I would say seek God first with all of your heart and pursue His will for your life. Be passionate about Him and the purpose that He's placed in your heart, and then the rest is like will fall into place.
Respect and love.
And respect and love.
that person.
It's great.
Love and
Seek-
respect.
Seek the best for them before your own.
Awesome.
I just go back to Kiss Dating Goodbye and WWJD. Combine the two of those.
Awesome.
You've got a
We
match.
failed.
Great.
We failed.
All right, love and respect, waffle spaghetti. We had a good time. Hope your questions were answered. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Really?